What do you think is more powerful, the words you say or the way you say them? This question lingers because it forces us to think beyond the surface. Two people can say the exact same sentence, but the effect will not be the same. One person may say it with hesitation, their voice trembling, their eyes darting away, and the words will fall flat, forgotten almost instantly. Another person may say those very same words with calm assurance, their voice steady, their eyes locked with yours, and suddenly those words feel alive, heavy with meaning, impossible to ignore. The difference lies not in the letters or syllables, but in the energy behind them. Think about how a child says, "I love you." The phrase is simple, but because it comes from pure innocence and honesty, it pierces the heart in a way no polished speech could. Now compare that to someone repeating the same phrase without sincerity, just to fill the silence. The words are the same, but the power is missing. That is the truth about communication. Words are vessels, but tone, presence, and intention are the fire that fills them. Even in learning, the same principle applies. You can read a sentence from a textbook and forget it in minutes, but when a teacher shares the same sentence with passion, with belief that it matters, suddenly you pay attention, you lean forward, you remember. Because human beings don't just respond to words, we respond to the spirit inside the words. So when you ask yourself what to say to move someone, to spark something in them, remember that it's not about perfect vocabulary. It's about speaking with a force that goes beyond language, a force that makes the other person feel this is real. It is this reality, not polished grammar, that truly turns someone onto you, to an idea, or even to life itself. Why tone matters more than vocabulary. This is something most people overlook. You could memorize the most beautiful line from a book or a movie, but if you deliver it without the right tone, it will sound empty, almost mechanical. On the other hand, even the simplest sentence like, "I like the way you make me feel," can become powerful if spoken with warmth, softness, or playfulness. The tone carries emotion, and emotion is what people connect with. Think of music for a moment. The lyrics of a song might be plain, but it's the melody and the way the singer delivers them that stirs your soul. A whisper can sometimes be louder than a shout, not because of volume, but because of the way it lands on the listener's heart. That is the secret of tone. In relationships, in motivation, and even in learning English, this truth remains the same. A teacher saying, "You can do it," with genuine belief will light up a student more than a teacher delivering a complex lecture with no feeling. Words may inform the mind, but tone reaches the heart. And when the heart is touched, that is when true connection begins. How curiosity can spark deeper attraction is something we often underestimate. When you give someone every detail, you leave no space for their imagination. But when you speak in a way that leaves a little mystery, the listener leans in. Curiosity is like a spark. It keeps the mind engaged, the heart waiting for more. Imagine someone telling you, "You haven't even seen the best of me yet." That sentence doesn't explain much, but it makes you want to know more. It plants a question in your mind, and the desire to find the answer keeps you hooked. This is the same reason why we keep turning the pages of a novel like The Alchemist, because each page hints at something beyond the present moment, pulling us forward with curiosity. In human connection, the same rule applies. When your words carry a touch of mystery, you invite the other person to join in, to imagine, to feel. You don't hand them the full picture, you give them pieces, and the act of filling the gaps creates excitement. Curiosity is not about being secretive, but about leaving enough space for discovery. And it is in that space that attraction, passion, and motivation come alive. Confidence in speaking is not about having the loudest voice or using the most advanced words. It is about carrying certainty in your message. When you speak with confidence, people don't just hear your words, they feel your belief. And belief is contagious. A shaky voice can make even the most beautiful sentence feel weak, but a steady, assured tone can make even a simple phrase unforgettable. Think of leaders who changed history. They didn't always speak in complicated language. Often their sentences were short and direct, yet powerful because they were delivered with conviction. Confidence makes the listener trust you, not only because of what you're saying, but because of how fully you stand behind it. In personal moments, confidence has the same effect. If you tell someone, "I want you," but you say it with hesitation, the meaning gets lost. But if you say those same words with certainty, eyes steady, voice calm, the listener feels the strength of your desire. Confidence transforms ordinary words into fire, and it reassures the other person that they are in the presence of someone who knows what they feel, what they want, and is not afraid to say it. Why authenticity is more powerful than rehearsed lines comes down to one truth. People can feel when you are real. You could memorize the smoothest sentence from a movie, repeat it perfectly, and still fail to move someone if it doesn't come from your own heart. But when you speak in your own words, even if they are simple, they carry the weight of honesty, and honesty is magnetic. Think about conversations that stay with you. They're rarely the ones filled with clever tricks or polished speeches. They're the ones where someone spoke with raw sincerity, where you knew they meant every word. That's why a plain phrase like, "I love being with you," can strike deeper than a rehearsed line that sounds too polished to be real. Books like The Little Prince remind us that what is essential is invisible to the eye. In the same way, the power of words lies not in their cleverness, but in the truth behind them. Authenticity builds trust, and trust builds attraction. When your words reflect who you truly are, they resonate, not because they are perfect, but because they are human. And it is that humanity, not performance, that turns people's hearts toward you. The secret of speaking with intention, not just noise, is what separates words that fade from words that ignite. Many people talk endlessly, filling silence with phrases that have no weight. But true impact comes when every word has a purpose. Speaking with intention means you are not trying to impress or distract. You are trying to connect, to awaken something real in the listener. Imagine saying to someone, "You inspire me." It's only 3 words, yet when spoken with real intention, it can feel like a gift that stays with them for years. Compare that with a long, empty explanation full of fancy words but no heart. It will be forgotten almost instantly. Intention turns small phrases into lasting memories. In books like Man's Search for Meaning, the idea is clear. When people act and speak with purpose, their energy carries farther and their influence becomes stronger. The same applies to intimacy, motivation, and even learning. If you say something because you mean it, because you want the listener to feel valued, understood, or desired, it will resonate. But if you speak just to fill the air, your words vanish like smoke. Intention is the anchor of connection. When you choose your words with care and deliver them with focus, you don't just speak, you leave an imprint on the other person's mind and heart. How to balance mystery and clarity is an art. Too much mystery and you risk confusion. Too much clarity and you remove the intrigue. The magic lies in giving enough to make the listener feel secure while leaving just enough unsaid to make them curious. This balance keeps the connection alive because people are drawn both to what they know and to what they don't yet understand. Think about a story that keeps you hooked. A writer gives you clear details so you're not lost, but also leaves unanswered questions so you keep turning the pages. The same happens in human connection. If you say, "I enjoy being around you," that's clarity. It tells the person exactly how you feel. But if you add, "You have no idea what you do to me," that's mystery. It invites their imagination to explore deeper. Together, the two create a powerful pull. Books like Pride and Prejudice show this balance beautifully. The characters don't reveal everything at once, but they don't hide so much that the story becomes frustrating. They share pieces of themselves slowly, allowing curiosity and understanding to build side by side. In relationships, motivation, or inspiration, this balance matters. Too much clarity feels predictable. Too much mystery feels distant. But when you give both in harmony, you create a rhythm that keeps the connection alive and growing. The connection between emotional language and passion is undeniable. Words that carry emotion touch people in ways plain statements never can. If you say, "I like you," it might sound flat. But if you say, "You make my heart race every time you walk into the room," the listener doesn't just hear your words, they feel the emotion woven into them. Emotional language transforms thought into experience. Think of how poets write. They don't simply say, "The night is dark." They say, "The night wrapped itself around me like a heavy cloak." That emotional expression makes the reader not just understand, but feel. In the same way, when you use words that reveal your feelings openly, you invite the other person into your inner world. That act of vulnerability creates intimacy, and intimacy fuels passion. Even in books like Jane Eyre, it's not the straightforward lines that stay with us. It's the emotional confessions, the words dripping with longing and intensity that stir the heart. Emotional language is powerful because it goes beyond logic. It awakens the senses. It makes the listener feel alive. Passion is born when words are not just spoken but felt. And when you allow your emotions to guide your language, you're no longer just communicating, you're igniting. Why the right words at the right moment can unlock hidden energy is because timing gives words their true power. A sentence spoken too early can fall flat, and the same sentence spoken too late can lose its meaning. But when words are delivered at just the right moment, they strike like lightning. They awaken something deep inside the listener. Imagine someone who has been struggling with doubt. They've tried and failed, and their spirit feels heavy. If in that exact moment you look them in the eye and say, "I believe in you," those 4 words can breathe life back into them. It's not just the phrase itself, it's the timing that makes it unforgettable. Great speeches throughout history prove this. In Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela reflects on how words spoken at the right moment gave people courage when they needed it most. The same principle applies in love and passion. Whispering, "I want you," when the atmosphere is quiet and the connection is strong, doesn't just sound romantic, it unlocks desire. The timing amplifies the meaning. Right words at the right moment don't just communicate, they transform, they shift moods, awaken emotions, and sometimes even change the direction of a life. That is the real power of speech, not only what is said, but when it is said.